Welcome to Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane, a demo by Diamond Hedge Entertainment, which of course tells the story of a lawyer named Tyrion Cuthbert, practicing law in a world full of fantasy and magic, where we are using the very rules and laws of magic to help get our clients acquitted. A very interesting premise. With of course, promises of a corrupt aristocracy, which is always fun. I would say definitely, given the scope of my channel, I think this stood out to me. Like the first thing that came to mind for me was dealing with giving me vibes of Curiosity of a Turnabout. The same sort of the same sort of idea with using the rules of magic in a mystery. So I'm really interested in seeing how this turns out. So simple enough. I'm not sure how much the demo covers. I think I remember hearing somewhere that the demo covers at least most of the first case, if not the whole first case. But we'll just give this a try and see what happens. The fields of battle are rife with bitterness and discord. Oh, that's interesting. Occupation defense attorney, age 20, arcane art none. A clash of souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule them. Mr. Cuthbert, you may now begin your cross-examination. Judge, age 78, arcane art none. So, Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client at the scene, stabbing the victim with her sword. What's more, you claim to have seen her performing magic while doing so. Did you see all of this clearly? Yes. I could never forget such a grisly sight. Occupation driver, age 34. Ace Rudolph. I see. There is one problem with your testimony, though. These sprites are really good, holy shit. Oh, and what is that? Everything you've just said is a complete lie! Oh, what? Are you seriously... Are you accusing the witness of perjury, defense lawyer? Arcane Art Blade song. Oh. Aria Steelwind. You should know better than to make baseless claims like that. My claim is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Recall the state of the crime scene when the murder occurred. There's no way that the witness could have seen anything during that time, much less a murder. The courtroom is one such battlefield. A clash between lies and truth, corruption and justice. It is here that we lawyers fight for the souls of our clients. It was here that my journey began. Ooh. Oh, hello, finely dressed man. Gods, I forgot how drab this town was. Even so, I can't help but feel just a little nostalgic. No, now's not the time for sentimentality. I can't convince that old fool, and I need to do what is necessary. Sir, we'll be arriving at the McCoy Tavern shortly. Hello, you. Shall I park the carriage, sir? No, this shouldn't take long. Now please fetch my spell compendium. Sir? Surely there's no need to. Do not forget your place, Rudolph. I will not repeat myself. Fetch my spell compendium. At once, sir. Please, just let me explain. Well-dressed girl? Gruff man. I don't want to hear it. I want you out of my house. Out! Oh no. That girl. That was the old man's daughter. Rudolph, did that girl see us? no, it appears she stormed off in a hurry. Good. Please wait in the carriage while I carry out my business. I will call for you if I need you. Of course, sir. Gruffman, hello. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You? Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Luxo. What are you doing here? Occupation unemployed, age 46. And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been quite busy lately. Your rallies against nobility have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what? Came all this way to convince me to stop. I'll give you my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Oh, now you care about my family. Did you care about my family when you shut down my livelihood? Did you care about my family when your father threatened my parents? Did you care for my family when you killed my sister? Flintheart, please. Someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call you a friend. Get out of my inn. I don't have time for your games. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Ooh. God! Ooh. Damn it. Damn it. Why couldn't you have just listened to me for once? Rudolph. Yes, sir. Oh, gods! What did you... You killed him! Inform the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter commit the crime. At once, sir. Okay, I can do this. Just take deep breaths and relax. Oh, hello. Ruby Tamora, Occupation Defense Attorney. Age 42, Arcane Art none. Are you okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Yeah. Miss Tamora, I didn't see you there. Pull yourself together. What will you do if your client sees you like this? Are you absolutely sure about this, Miss Tamora? I think that you should be the one defending this case. This is the reason why you became a lawyer, isn't it? It was so you could defend the mages among the common folk. How do you plan on doing that if you can't handle a simple murder case? A simple murder case, she says. Can I start smaller? Defend someone accused of a magical parking violation or something. Here comes your client. How do I do that? Let's save game. Oh, that's handy. Court record. Oh, okay, court record. Say history. Settings. Okay, exit. Title screen. Okay. Getting my bearings here. Try not to look so tightly wound. Hello. Wow, she looks absolutely depressed. I mean, do you blame her? Hi there. My name is Tomy, and I'll be your Tyrion today. Oh, what? I'm Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm gonna be your lawyer in the trial today. Oh, I'm Celeste. Celeste McCoy. Occupation mercenary, age 18. Arcane art spellsword. Take some time to get acquainted with each other. I'm going to make some preparations before the trial. Oh, hello. Talk. I'm sorry, this must all be really frightening for you right now. It's okay, but I just don't understand. How could they think that I'd do something like this? That's right. The victim in this case is her father, isn't it? Must have arrested you because you're a mage. What? The reports say that they found traces of magic at the crime scene. You were the closest mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? Sometimes that's the only reason they need. They don't care about the truth. They only care about closing the case. I can't believe this. I think my headaches are back. Don't have anything to present. These doors lead to the courtroom. Oh god, so they're gonna start hyperventilating again! Oh, okay. I see how this works. It's a bench. I'd sit down if I weren't so tense right now. That's interesting. It's a little... Okay, yeah, so it's not the icon, it's just... When the icon appears, you can examine the thing that you're hovering over. Yeah, it looks about right. Bench, door. I like that. Feels really smooth. Okay. How about you? So you can use magic. You're not a noble, are you? Of course not! Huh. Why would you think that? Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. Usually only people with noble blood can use magic. Honestly not sure why I have this ability. Never been properly trained. I only know one spell. Interesting. That could actually work out in our favor during the trial. Do you have your spell compendium with you? No, your boss has it right now. My boss? She's talking about Miss Tamora. Her spell compendium will be instrumental in to acquitting her. Wonder why Miss Tamora hasn't given it to me yet. Sorry, I have to ask. How many trials have you defended? You look really nervous. Actually, this is my first trial. What? This rookie is going to decide my future? Wow, that's kind of harsh. Don't worry. My mentor will be with me the entire time. I'm sure she'll step in if I can't defend you properly. This fills me with confidence. Right. That's a complete lie. Mr. Moore would sooner watch me sink than bail me out of trouble. Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your defense team. The trial's about to begin. Alright, here goes nothing. Right straight in. Oh, hello. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Bernie Sanders, why? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. Yeah, no, that's... That's a... Very well, let's begin the proceedings. I don't even know how to... That's an epic head of hair you have there, sir. Prosecutor Steelwood, could you please list the charges? The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see. So the defendant in question is a mage. Yes. The crime occurred inside of that McCoy Tavern, a local inn that was shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from the building. Hours later, a carriage driver happened to enter the tavern. It was there that he found the victim, who was impaled with a sword owned by the defendant. Here's the autopsy report and a record of the sword. Ooh. Transmutation magic. Murder weapon? Ornately designed sword but has no magical properties. Interesting. Oh, hello. You're back. Pay attention when evidence is added to the court record, Cuthbert. A single piece of evidence could be the difference between victory and defeat. I kind of like I like this. I like this. These backgrounds are really smooth and really detailed. Plus, it's an interesting perspective of the courtroom. Like, literally we can see the stairs leading up to the judge's bench. We don't usually get that sort of angle. You take a look at the court record at any time. This is really smooth. I like this. Alright. Right. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see they shared the same last name. The defendant was the victim's daughter, but not by blood. It appears that she was adopted into the family as an infant. Her birth parents are unknown. I see. What a dreadful turn of events. So, she was adopted. That explains why she can use magic even though her family lives in the sticks. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand. Commander? Oh, wow, hello. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orm White. Orm White. I'm commander of the Department of Arcane Inquisition. Personally investigate crimes perpetrated by mages. Now, Commander, please tell the court the details of what transpired. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, okay. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Inn. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart and McCoy dead on the floor, with the defendant's sword still inside him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. I guess their argument turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't this really bad? Her possession is the murder weapon. Cuthbert, it's time to cross-examine the witness. Find the inconsistency in his testimony and present it to the courtroom. There was an inconsistency there? For your client's sake, you'd better hope so. Testimony was pretty damning. If you can't find the contradiction in the commander's testimony, this trial will be over very quickly. But nothing sounded wrong with what he said. For what I taught you, carefully examine and dissect his testimony. Look at each statement he made, then check the court record for the piece of evidence that contradicts that statement. Once you've found the correct piece of evidence, present it to the contradicting statement. Alright, I'll try. Whoa. Alright. Goal of each cross-examination is to find the statement that contradicts the truth. The error is to carefully examine each statement. The witness made, contradicting statement, present, open the court record. Simple enough. That's what we know at this point. We can press, though. What time exactly did you get this call? And who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:25 a.m. The witness who discovered wanted to remain incognito. This would be a lot easier if I could question the witness directly. What happened when you arrived, detective? How did you know that the sword was my client's? Her sword was a work of art. Best piece of craftsmanship I've ever seen. Take a look at it in the record. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to the defendant, it doesn't necessarily mean she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well... How'd they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing? There's no doubt it was them. They both got pretty loud. Witnesses nearby were sure that they heard the voices of those two. I don't know if I'm happy with that voice. But might try something different. It must have been an intense argument if they were that loud. What were they arguing about? That's conjecture. Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? The tavern has been closed for years. The defendant and the victim were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. You'll have to do better than that. Present concrete evidence if you want to contradict what he's saying. Right. I know that there's something off about what he just said. There is. That is definitely Ms. McCoy's sword. I agree. Did she really do it? Is that really all it takes for you to lose confidence in your client, Cuthbert? You talked to her, didn't you? Do you honestly think that poor girl killed her father in cold blood? Sorry, you're right. How do I prove him wrong, then? The commander is sorely mistaken about one detail about how this murder occurred. One of the statements in his testimony contradicts the evidence. Find that statement and present the piece of evidence that contradicts it. Still enough? We know the sword is in fact not magic. Objection. Commander White, you said that the victim was killed using the defendant's sword. Am I correct? Yeah, what about it? I'm sorry, Commander. Whoa, hello. Smug pose. But the defendant's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. That fatal wound shows heavy traces of magic. So please, tell me, Commander. How would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? There's a magical trace in the wound. It would have needed to be in contact with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely non-magical. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword did kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Cuthbert? Well, there's only one reasonable conclusion, Your Honor. The wound was created magically. And the sword was shoved into the wound afterwards. What the hell are you talking about, kid? The defendant is a damn mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. Why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and stabbed my client's sword through the wound to frame her. Oh, that's really... Objection. Oh, I really like that courtroom bit. Don't get ahead of yourself, you amateur. What? What do you mean, Prosecutor Steelwind? The defense is trying to spin quite the ridiculous tale. He claims that the third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. Commander, please explain to the court how the defendant's magic was used in the murder. All right. I think I see where you're going with this. Round 2. It's true that the sword itself ain't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Defendant over there, her spell compendium is a spell called Mageblade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Ooh. So her spell compendium contains the spell Mageblade. A spell compendium contains the magical formulas of every spell a mage is able to cast. If the spell is contained in their compendium, they can cast that spell. If a spell isn't there, and there's no way for the compendium's owner to cast it. It's the first law of magic, a rule with no exceptions. Can I have her spell compendium, then? Looking at the parameters of Mageblade would really help. Not yet. What? Why? What? Don't I need it to find a contradiction in her testimony? I think this is a good opportunity for you. There were parts of his testimony that were a bit lacking. If you press those statements, you might be able to gain new information that you can use. I'll hold on to her spell compendium until I think it's necessary for you to have it. All right, if you say so. Pressing statements. We know how this works. Now, what this might feel a bit handholdy, but what this tells me is that the spell compendium contains an obvious contradiction. and we're being asked to kind of work through this, figure it out for ourselves before she confirms it for us. Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the school of transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. Guess there are all kinds of spells out there. Mageblade. It's a transmutation spell that fortifies a sword, making it sharper and deadlier. Mainly used by swordsmen to cut right through an enemy's plate armor. Wouldn't it be excessive for my client to use a spell like that on the victim? I highly doubt that he was wearing any kind of armor at the time. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. That theory's a bit far-fetched. I'll need some concrete evidence to disprove it. But why would she do that? Her sword alone should have been more than enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime scene. Do you have proof that those traces weren't left by our client? That's what I thought. Fair enough. Wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground, too? How so? Let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. Mageblade would still be affecting the sword, right? Would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene. We found traces of transmutation magic on the ground, just like you said. Oh, I like that smug grin. If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Ooh. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. The shape's a little weird, isn't it? I wasn't aware of this photo of the crime scene. Why wasn't it brought to my attention? There was no need. This case is open and shut. Regardless, I must ask that you add this detail to your testimony. Yeah. What was that just now? She just noticed something weird. That from the front. Did that series of events really leave that strong a trace? It's a second law of magic. An effect from a spell makes physical contact with any object and will leave a trace there. But can you really tell which exact spell created the magical trace? The traces we found were all created by a transmutation spell, which is the exact school of magic that Mageblade belongs to. That's all we need to know to conclude that the defendant was the culprit. Interesting. So she can't actually prove it was specifically Mageblade that left the trace. All she can prove is that it was a transmutation spell that left it. Can't find the evidence that contradicts what he's saying. Remember, Cuthbert, you can press each of his statements to glean more information. Doing that could provide you with the information you need. Well, I guess I don't have a choice. Oh, here we go. What am I looking at here? It certainly doesn't seem to line up with this. I think it's safe to say that we do this. Your Honor, this piece of evidence contradicts what the commander just said. I fail to see how that piece of evidence contradicts what the witness just said. I guess you're right. Please refrain from making baseless claims, Mr. Cuthbert. Well, I guess it didn't work. Oh. Wait up. I didn't read the autopsy report. I'm sorry, Commander White. But it seems you've made another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain and simple in that picture. So where's your contradiction, boy? That's just the thing, Commander. Why don't you take a look at the autopsy report? The photo shows that the victim was impaled from the front. Why does the autopsy report say that he was impaled from behind? What? Orm? Why wasn't this photo brought to my attention before the trial? You were supposed to release everything that you had to me. There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage girl. Order. Order in the court. I will have order. Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from the back. This crime scene photo proves another indisputable fact. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. Otherwise, how else would this sword be facing the wrong way? Oh, maybe she used a spell to switch direction. My client only knows one spell, and it's not capable of doing anything like that. Even if she did, what would be the logic behind that? No, what clearly happened is that the real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. They made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. You've done well, Tyrion. But it's not over yet. What do you mean? Oh. And once again, you've gotten ahead of yourself, defense lawyer. How so? I believe he has adequately cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Is that so? Let me ask you one question, defense lawyer. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? Who knows? Leave that for the commander to figure out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound in that sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? I don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. Well, I actually do like where this is going. Because it takes the obvious case of I don't need to prove the realistic case of I don't need to prove who killed the victim. I just need to prove that my client couldn't have, which is the real world law function, as opposed to the Ace Attorney function of if I don't prove who actually killed the victim, then my client is guilty somehow. I like where this is going because it gives us an excuse to play that game, where we got to figure out who actually did the murder, and gives us an excuse as far as why we shouldn't why we have to figure out who did it. That mage is your client. What? The defendant was also the last known person with the victim when he was alive, and she was the only mage anywhere close to that area. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That does change things dramatically. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still enough evidence to cast guilt upon the defendant. No, I almost had it. There are still too many unanswered questions to conclude this trial. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct the investigation more thoroughly this time. You'll resume the trial of Celeste McCoy tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Well done, Cuthbert. Not bad for your first trial. That was the most stressful thing I've ever experienced. But? I have to admit, that was pretty exhilarating. See, you were born for this line of work. On that note, I should give you this. Ooh, Celeste Spell Compendium. Mageblade. Target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. Ooh. Celeste Spell Compendium. Look at descriptions for spells under the Spell tab in the court record. And she only knows one spell. Yes, Mageblade. The prosecution needs to prove that she used that specific spell. It will restrict how the prosecution approaches this case. But that prosecutor is really something else. And Prosecutor Steelwind? You wouldn't even know it, but this was her first trial as well. Wait, really? I'd thought that her inexperience would make her a good opponent for your first trial. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. Wonder why Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the aristocracy, they're probably the closest to the royal family. Members of their house usually take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. It's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. Why does that name sound familiar? Well, anyways, it's best that you focus on the current trial. You have about a day until court resumes tomorrow. Right. You should investigate the crime scene. Wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something there. Yeah, I can't believe Commander White conducted such a shoddy investigation. Don't expect them to make that mistake again. They'll be more wary of you after how much you embarrassed them today. You should also talk to our client. You mean Celeste? She didn't say a word about that argument with her father. It might be something worth looking into. True. But why she wouldn't mention something that important? Go out there and get the tools you need for our client's acquittal. Her fate rests on your shoulders. Right. Things are moving at a pleasant clip? Sure. End part 1. The cold-hearted aristocrat. My mother had always said that I was a miracle from the gods. But I've known the truth for a long time. I'm just a curse.
Have you seen the McCoy's child? She looks nothing like her mother.
Do you think Flintheart was having an affair?
I wouldn't be surprised. That man has never been right after what happened to his sister.
Hush now. You were told never to speak of that.
Did you hear what the merchant said about that McCoy girl? She has the ability to do magic. There's no way that's true. Everyone knows how much Flintheart hates magic. Who knows? Maybe Flintheart had a fling with a noblewoman.
Oof. Wish all of you would just shut up. None of you know what you're talking about.
My inn is being shut down. On what grounds?
Your business has been tied to several organizations plotting against the monarchy. Lord Pierce can no longer turn a blind eye to dissidents. Flintheart, if you put a stop to these rallies, I might be able to convince him to reconsider.
So that's the game he's playing. Well, you can tell your lord it will take a lot more to dissuade Flintheart McCoy.
Please be reasonable, Flintheart. This isn't a fight you can win.
I'm not going to take advice from a bootlicker like you. Get out of my house.
Fine. Don't say that I didn't warn you. Jolene. Flintheart, I understand why you're doing this. But can we really survive without the inn?
I don't know. Try to sort something out.
I thought that I could use magic to help them. I wanted to stop being a burden.
Well, looks like your papers are in order. You are now officially a registered mage.
Thank you. Oh, that smile.
Don't think this gives you a pass to go slinging your magic around. Something happens, I'll be right there to bring the law down upon you.
Harsh.
I don't like this. My own daughter shouldn't have to work as a mercenary.
It's okay, Dad. I'm a lot stronger than I look. Anyways, how else are we going to survive with the inn closed?
Is that why? That's not your responsibility, Celeste.
You took me in when I was abandoned all those years ago. You and Mom have taken care of me for so long. Please, just let me do this for you.
Just stay safe, okay? Don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you.
Even then, I hid my powers from them. But I still thought that I could finally use those powers for something good. I'd finally started to accept this part of myself.
Ah, there's my little soldier. Tell me, Celeste, how many bandits have you run through? Flintheart! Sorry. I'm proud of you, Celeste. Without you, I don't know how I'd survive.
I'm making a lot of gold now. I'm saving up to buy a house in the capital. Maybe then we can...
Sorry, Celeste. I can't leave this town just yet.
This is about your rallies, isn't it?
Touchy subject.
Please, Dad, you have to stop. What are you going to do if the nobility decides they want to get rid of you?
Celeste, I have to see this through. I've come too far now.
I'm going to stay here.
What?
If you won't stop, then at least I can stay here and protect you.
There's no way I would ever let you.
I don't think you have a say in this, Flintheart.
Fine. Do as you wish. I doubt I could stop you even if I tried.
Stubborn old bat, but it seems like he has a soft spot for his daughter. I finally started to think that magic wasn't such a bad thing after all. I should have known better. I'm home. Uh-oh. What's wrong?
What is this?
My spell compendium. How did he... That's just a journal that I've been...
Don't even think about lying to me. You think I don't know what a spell compendium looks like?
How did you...
Whose is it? Who does this book belong to?
It's mine.
What?
For a long time now, I've been able to use magic.
No.
Dad,
Don't you dare call me that.
Oh, no.
Dare you sully my home with this witchcraft?
Please, just let me explain.
I don't want to hear it. I want you out of my house. Out!
I lied to him about it for so long. I was so scared of what would happen if he ever found out. I deserved every bit of his anger. I betrayed him. But I was still so selfish. I thought that he might have been able to forgive me. Would have hoped. Dad? Celeste, where have you been? I was so worried. Mom, what's going on? Who are these people?
You. I should have known it was you. You're under arrest.
What? Let go of me. Where's my dad?
Your dad's dead. You're the one that killed him.
What? No. No. Oh, God. That hurts. That hurts. But that was too hopeful, wasn't it? I promised you that I'd protect you, but I couldn't even do that. I'm a worthless daughter, and I didn't deserve forgiveness. I was nothing but a curse for you until the very end. Oh, God, that hurts. God. Dad. Oh, God, that hurts. So, this is McCoy Inn.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here?
I'm the lawyer of the accused? I have as much of right to investigate this scene as you do.
Yeah, whatever. Just don't touch anything.
Investigation. Okay, interesting. Examine, talk, move, present. Persuade. Attempt to persuade someone to help you. That's interesting. Only available after certain criteria have been met. Okay, so don't even get... There's no generic dialogue then. Seriously, how could you miss such an obvious detail of the crime?
Oh, quiet with that.
I already got an earful from that Steelwind girl about that mess.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. Prosecutor has basically taken over the entire investigation.
Prosecutor Steelwind is heading the investigation now? Does she have the authority to do that?
Normally not.
But you know, with her being a Steelwind and all, her name gives her a free pass to do whatever she wants. He doesn't seem too happy about that. Ooh, what is this? What is this bar? Anyway, looks like Prosecutor Steelwood is heading the investigation now. Is this tied into the... Does she have the authority to do that? What? Look, I reckon I made a mistake. Doesn't change the fact that your client was the only mage when they're out where the crime scene happened. This case is open and shut. Yeah, we'll see about that. What is this? Alright, let's have a look. Looks like the Arcane Inquisition lit some candles. Why would they do that instead of turning on the dining room lights? Okay, candle, candle, candle. Wow, it's a lamp fueled by arcane energy. It's surprising to see artificery in a town like this. Bah! Artificery is just another brand of that good-for-nothing magic. Well, technically, artificery draws power from ley lines to produce energy, which is then...
I didn't ask for a science lesson.
Anyways, look at where relying on artificery got these folks. Their arcane generator broke down and they've been living in complete darkness for days. Well, it beats good old oil and flame. Interesting. Let's mean... Oh, hello. Deduction. Sometimes Tyrion will try to make a deduction. Using the four fields to construct a conclusion for the given prompt. Any of the possible answers will technically be correct, but only one of them will be relevant to the case. Okay. Clearly the lights had no weapons for the last month. That seems legit. Last year, last month, during the murder. Town lights had no energy during the murder. Year, month, possibly last month, but this feels the most relevant. Right. If the arcane generators weren't functional, then the lights wouldn't be on during the murder. Hey! No energy has been added to the court record. Interesting. It's the shattered pieces of a glass bottle. Someone must have dropped it. Shattered bottle? This must be where Flintheart died. There's a large pool of blood here. Alright, let's back out. Nope. So I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Ah, me? Help you? You have a lot of nerve, kid. I saw who your boss is. What's that supposed to mean? I won't get anywhere at this rate. Looks like I'll need to persuade him to help me. Ooh, okay. During investigations, you'll sometimes have the opportunity to persuade a person to help you. Not necessary to progress through the game, but it will make your investigations easier. Ooh, building relationships and unlock unique events. Nothing else to do here. Can I persuade? Might be able to convince the commander to give me some information on the case. He seems to have a personal grudge against me. I can clear the air. Maybe he'll help me. Build a psychological profile of someone by talking with them or by presenting them with evidence that they react to. Unlocking someone's psychological profile will give you a clue on which dialogue options will be most effective during persuasions. Oh, okay. No, let's not do that. Save the game first. This is interesting. Is there where to go? We could, however, come here. If you keep coming here, people will start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is sit easy until that girl is convicted. Enough. I will do as I see fit. Maybe a steal win, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh? You must be the defense attorney for this trial. I am. I'm sorry, who? Ah, how rude of me. I am Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. I must thank you for playing your role in this current trial. As misguided as it may be. So I suppose that you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic's a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone. It's a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye. All of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent girl who got wrapped up in all this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid bare and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the judicial system of corruption. So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free in spite of a myriad of evidence. That alone will be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as it is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it either. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. And why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight for your own beliefs. Just as I will fight for mine. Oh. Anything to see here? It's a door to one of the many rooms of the inn. It's a shame that it was forced to close down. Really not anything to see here. This door looks different from all the others. It's an intricate lock, too. Could this be Celeste's room? Interesting. Not really anything to do here. Oh, hello. We got more talk options. I didn't see this. Something happened between you and Miss Tamora? Ah, Miss Tamora. What are you, her lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. Oh. Look, kid, I'm telling you this for your own good. Nothing good will come of you staying close to that woman. Her hands are dirty, and so are those filthy mages she defends. This is about the rumors, isn't it? It's more than just rumors. I've seen it myself. That woman is evil, kid. That's concerning. Psychological profile complete, yay! Let's keep asking, though. You really don't like mages, do you? Yeah, what about it? Wow, he didn't even try to deny it. If you had any sense, you'd hate them, too. All some kid has to do is wave their hands and say hocus pocus. Then next thing you know, someone's dead on the ground. Most of them are nobles, too. All they have to do is make a few calls to their friends. And I'm suddenly ordered to look the other way. At least this time, the perp doesn't have a noble house to protect them from the law. But don't you realize what you're doing? You made it so that the system only convicts mages among the common folk. Save it. The girl's guilty. There's nothing you or your boss can do to change that. Maybe that devil will find his case for once. What did you say? Say that your boss can't weasel her way out of that one. The screen kind of blurs there when we hear their thoughts, and Tyrion seems to react to that. Does he have a sense for selectively reading minds? It's interesting. It says your boss can't weasel the way out of that one. This one. Oh. That's handy. What about Aria? I heard this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She's pretty good for a first-timer. Pain in my ass is what she is. That damn mage comes in here telling me how to do my job. Well, now this would have happened if you had done your job right in the first place. That girl sweats the details way too much. She even had my men draft a geometrical map of the crime scene. Map of the crime scene? Do you have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Ooh. Honestly, I have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. She's a mage, right? I heard she's pretty good at using magic. That's an understatement. If she really wanted to, she could turn this entire town into a burned crater. There's no way that's true, right? Alright, I think we can try and persuade. I'm running out of time. Anyways, we're going to save the game, and when we come back, we'll try and persuade our good detective. And if you like what you see so far, and I can say that I really like what I see, look for the game on Kickstarter, because this game has a Kickstarter that's live right now. I'll link it in the description. Check it out. Throw it a few bucks if you can spare it. Because, to be perfectly honest, I'm really blown away by what I'm seeing right now. Level of the tale and the characters, the backgrounds, and the backstory we've gotten so far is really intriguing. I'm interested in playing more. Keep your eyes peeled, and until next time, until then.